PMV kills elderly man.
I'm speed no go through. I mean, I probably break too bad.
5 years on, crash victims remembered.
I mean, that was half my family.
Climate change, top priority.
In the future, we have a lot of work to do.
This is National EMTV News with Mary Bartolo.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us for Friday's news. An elderly man has died after he was hit by a PMV bus in Port Moresby this morning. He was crossing the road to catch a PMV when he was hit by another PMV. The driver involved in this accident is now in police custody. Tekla Gunga reports.
The incident occurred between 7 o'clock and 7:30 this morning at 9 Mile on the road to Sogeri. According to witnesses, the victim was on his way to Gordon's when he met his fate.
Milagola round lene mo se base sta anda la tenop na fullo to ante mol kame. Fada la sta la ditla side nam la mubugo laus lem na magro rot stab lenem. Fada
NCD Traffic Police arrived at the scene with an ambulance and the body was taken to the Port Moresby General Hospital morgue.
Yeah, pada ni blame pakarap so. Nabla base ya mem stop lo site. Na nabla 16 ya em speed no go through. I mean, I probably break too bad. Base ya driver em run too. Why because I'm speed go run through ya. I'm not fada ni blame pakarap so. Em had lo go ya. All kili me manta be. Nem I think mas 10 meters away na po.
This is the fifth death in the last 2 years at this area, and nearby residents are urging the Transport Department to set up speed bumps to prevent vehicles from speeding.
Wala action difference to all claim lo here. Na wana labun meri na planti all claim lo here so. Mi esa pasta lo here, lo degree research lo here. Mi kan talk also NCDC can take event lo putting wala harm lo here because
Judge Damba, a correctional officer, also raised concerns on the quality of road checks officers from the National Road Safety conduct when inspecting vehicles and checking drivers' licenses.
Mila put him complaining all road safety. Almost I will check him. Almost I check him brake light, almost I check him signal, almost I check him wiper. Also got some license that's all I look na.
Tekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
A father and his son were apprehended by Port Moresby police as suspects in relation to the death of another man. The two men were picked up at Gerhu Stage 3 and are now in police custody.
The father and son were brought into the Boroko police station at 2 this afternoon. The pair appeared at Boroko sporting bruises. They will be questioned and later charged. According to police reports, the victim sustained serious facial injuries, a fact discovered after his body was found by security guards. Another suspect, believed to be a student at Gerhu Secondary School, is still on the run. Tekla Gunga, National EMTV News.
Family members of those who died in the airline's PNG crash in 2011 gathered yesterday in Madang for a small ceremony marking the deaths of their loved ones. This year, the families were represented by a group that included the Matlam and Bula children who lost their parents and other family members in the crash. Each year, the group has gotten smaller because of the cost involved in traveling. But what has developed is a close friendship between the many families.
At 6 o'clock yesterday morning, a mass at the Divine Word University Chapel. The small gathering attended by a handful of residents marked the 5th anniversary of the airline's PNG crash in Madang that killed 28 people in 2011. Each year, the families of those who died come to Madang to remember them. This year, the group is represented by John Paul Matlam, who lost his mother, sisters and nephew, Cecilia and Helen Bula, who lost their parents, and Monica Tiriman, whose husband Simon died in the crash. As part of the memorial, the small group cleans the monument placed in memory of the passengers. It's a small gesture, but important.
So I've been staying here for this 4 years now. And I think partly the reason I was been staying here was because of them.
Yesterday, we attempted to make a trip with the families to the crash site. We didn't reach the site because the rivers were flooded, but it was also a small part in this long journey.
It's been quite hard, you know. We all need that support system, you know, a full family support system. But, you know, just to have it taken away in an instant and then trying to move forward with this. But that was half my family, 4, and now it's just my dad and my sister and my brother and I. So.
Not many outside this circle of friends will understand the grief and the pain that this crash has brought. For the small group, they've become a family drawn together by a tragedy.
It's always hard when it comes back to October. October is a month that's really hard. You'd think that after 5 years, you know, we'd move on. It's gotten a bit easier, but it's still hard, and it's good to come back and see people who are in the same situation as I.
Those other families, they have some remains which they took with them to their place for burial.
Cecilia and Helen weren't able to take back their mum and dad's remains. Government officials declared them missing. What they've come back to is another memorial set up in the center of Madang with the unidentified remains of the crash victims. The memorial, even in its importance, has not been respected. Vandalized twice already, the roofing iron has been stolen. Yesterday, it didn't matter. A small private gathering of friends and quiet moments in thought. Scott Waide, National EMTV News, Madang.
To be chosen as a cardinal was a surprise gift for Sir John Ribat, but through God's wisdom, he said yes and now accepts his calling. His Eminence Cardinal-elect Sir John revealed he never thought he would be elevated to one of the highest ranks in the Catholic Church. Our journalist Fabian Hakalitz spoke to the Cardinal-elect and brings us this report.
I did not know.
With the help of God and with His will, may this be done. This was his response after Apostolic Nuncio, Archbishop Korean Matthew Valunkal revealed the news of his elevation.
I did not know. For myself, I have no idea that I was to be chosen. It was never mentioned to me. And for me, I thought that this will never happen for me. He shook hands with me. And at the end he said, congratulations. And then I asked him, what for? And he said, if you do not know, I'm communicating to you now that Pope Francis has appointed you Cardinal of Papua New Guinea and this region. And for me, so I was shocked a little bit, and I just kept quiet. And then I said, okay, with the help of God, and if it is His will, may this be done. So that was my comment, my prayer at the time.
After the consistory on November 19, Sir John Ribat will be confirmed as a cardinal who will be eligible to vote for any future popes of the Catholic Church until he reaches the age of 80. Sir John is now 59 years.
There are many than this, just 120. But 120, they're the ones who have the voting power, if you like, because they are below the age of 80. And once they reach the age of 80, then they are not eligible to vote anymore.
It's indeed a moment of great joy and satisfaction for Papua New Guineans having a cardinal to represent the faithful in the Pope's election, which shows the growth and maturity of faith in the country. Not only that, but Sir John Ribat is the first Papua New Guinean to become a cardinal and the first from the missionaries of the Sacred Heart congregation. But he is the second cardinal from the Pacific region after Tonga.
But above all, the feeling of accepting it, the feeling of joyful about it, and the feeling that yes, it is the church. We are in the church, and it is for the church. That is that what kept me kind of had a good feeling, a good thought about it, and a feeling of faith.
His Eminence Cardinal-elect Sir John Ribat comes from Volavolo village in Rabaul district, East Jubutin province. He is a parishioner of St. Mary's Parish in the Archdiocese of Rabaul. Fabian Hakelitz, National MTV News.
Prime Minister Peter O'Neill has invited Pope Francis to visit the country. This followed a visit by the representative of the Pope in PNG and the Solomon Islands, Apostolic Nuncio Kurian Matthew Vayalungkal and Cardinal-elect Sir John Ribat. The Prime Minister congratulated Sir John Ribat on his appointment and told the Apostolic Nuncio that it is a proud time for Papua New Guinea. Opposition leader Don Pollier also congratulated Sir John Ribat, saying it is a great achievement for Papua New Guinea. With a more direct connection to the Vatican, Cardinal-elect Sir John Ribat says there will be better representation now of issues affecting PNG and the region. Top of the list of these issues is climate change.
We are here at the high risk, the nations of Papua New Guinea and also the Pacific.
As one of two cardinals representing the people of the Pacific Islands, Sir John Ribat said his appointment is timely, especially in light of the impact of climate change in the region.
You see, look at Carteret Island and look at some of the islands. I know of Yule Island, part of it is also going. And not only, but also many of our islands. We are seeing signs that this is coming. And so, who will be speaking about? The government will, but also the church. And who will be the one there to be with the people? It is the church. And it will be the voice for these people here.
The call to protect the earth was given prominence within the Catholic domain by the current Pope, Pope Francis, when he said through various Catholic documents that destroying the environment is a sin and calling on faithfuls to heal and protect the earth.
And at this time also I'm seeing we will have great access to the Vatican. That means we have our voice here. We will be able to speak. Before we had to go through people and so on. But this time it will be from the representative here that Pope himself appointed. And it is this office here. So for me this is how I'm seeing it. In the future we have a lot of work to do.
For many countries, including Papua New Guinea, protecting the environment will come with a lot of economic consequences. While there is the understanding and acceptance that our people are victims of climate change, that issue is always weighed up against the immediate reality that industries such as mining and logging bring in revenue for the country. So it will be a lot of work, as Sir John Ribat said, to find a solution that meets both the environmental and economic needs of the earth and our country. Sarah Aupong, National MTV News.
You're watching National MTV News. Among stories after the break, the Institute of Banking and Business offers Australian Bachelor in Business program in 2017. Stay with us. Welcome back to the news. ExxonMobil, one of the biggest multinational companies in Papua New Guinea and the driver of the PNG LNG project, hosted a workshop this morning to engage local businesses looking to work with the company. The workshop, according to ExxonMobil Managing Director Andrew Barry, is a platform for which small to medium enterprises can understand the complexities involved in working within the oil and gas sector, as well as to learn about the company's expectations. Lian Gerari reports.
Today's workshop, hosted by ExxonMobil and the IBBM's Enterprise Center, brought together a synergy of local suppliers eager to work with the global conglomerates. ExxonMobil, like other global conglomerates, has standards that they have to meet, and the contractors they bring on are urged to meet these standards as well. The workshop discussed topics such as compliance, governance and leadership, and safety, health, and environment, and brought together experts from the finance sector who divulged their knowledge and skills with the local suppliers, discussing topics ranging from basic business principles to discussing ways businesses can overcome common challenges such as cash flow management issues and garnering startup capital. ExxonMobil has partnered with multiple small businesses, including landowner businesses, since the start of the PNG LNG project in efforts to engage and develop Papua New Guinean companies.
A key component of our national content strategy involves creating opportunities for local businesses, like yourselves, and those opportunities to grow and to prosper from micro SMEs all the way through to large landowner companies. Since 2010, the PNG LNG project has spent over 12 billion kina on services provided by Papua New Guinean companies. Of this, more than 3 billion kina has been spent directly with landowner companies.
Workshops such as these are especially helpful for local suppliers to learn how to strive towards global standards. Leon Jarari, National EMTV News.
The Institute of Banking and Business Management in Port Moresby will begin offering an Australian Bachelor in Business program in 2017. The degree program will be offered by IBBM and Torrens University, a fully accredited Australian institution for higher learning. Again, Leon Jarari reports.
The Institute of Banking and Business Management has been providing quality education for the past 51 years. In 2014, the Institute was granted the recognition from government as being an institute of higher education and has since then, in partnership with Australian university Torrens University, introduced the Masters in Business Administration in 2014. Now to precede the MBA program, the Bachelor of Business program was introduced today to begin classes next year. The degree program is a 3-year program, the first year being a foundation year for the diploma in business, the second year an associate degree in business, and the third will be a specialization year in which intakes choose between communications and public relations or marketing.
In the year 2017, IBBM, along with the blessings of its board of directors, is very proud to bring to you a Bachelor's in Business program in partnership with an Australian university, Torrens University of Australia. It is an international qualification, the same that you would gain if you were to study in Australia.
Leon Jarari, National EMTV News.
A prominent resident and landowner of Madang has issued a strong word of caution to authorities handling the recent evictions in Madang, saying long-term solutions need to be thought out. Tamlong Tab from CR Village said the growth of settlements is a serious concern and the evictions don't solve the problem.
Settlements that grew near the RD Tuna canals were demolished 2 weeks ago and the people evicted. This came after a long tussle between the settlers and the provincial authorities, who were under pressure to clamp down on the high crime rate in Madang town. But one Madang resident, also a local landowner, says the eviction alone won't solve the problem. Tamlong Tab from CR Village says the settlers have now moved on to customary land, causing tension between themselves and the landowners.
The time will have big project long with that, I'll call him PMIJ, new separative now. And planting money come settle close to long road where all can tap in long any form of lick business now. Even get opportunity by only going to sample our well off to only come settle about long, stop close to about tap in long. Any form of spin-off long PMIJ project.
In the middle of the year, one person was killed and several houses burned at Nagara settlement, just up the road from RD Tuna. It was a clash between settlers who reside on land legally owned by the Lutheran Church. The growth of settlements in this part of Madang is a grave concern for landowners like Mr. Tab.
Me feel him not safe too much now, because only kiss him eviction law upside, only no go on one plug, only just cross over the road. No, come upside. Now we'll settle inside the lick canvas while walking 4 post shelter tassel, no say sleep inside. Full karma long canvas, no stuff. Maybe you go long time, but only by walk kirapkin and walking house can upside the road.
The eviction, while praised by many, falls short of resolving long-term problems caused by urban drift, settlements and large-scale development, and the landowners say the provincial government needs to develop long-term solutions that consider the needs of landowners as well. Scott Waide, National EMTV News, Madang.
Lay police were out in full operation starting this morning to ensure public safety during the Moresby Show weekend. Police will be assisting contracted security firms to man both the outer and inner perimeters of the showground. The public and the business community have been assured of safety at the Moresby Show. Sector patrol units will man both within and outside of the showground with help from mobile squads based in Madang and Goroka. They will also do foot patrols. Leh Metropolitan Superintendent Anthony Wagambi has urged the people to behave orderly and take ownership of the Moresby show.
For the Moresby show, Mila showroom general public na business houses, we're here. We've planned for it. We'll be looking after both the city and the show as well. So we have got our plans in place. We will cater for the general public in the city. So we will ensure normalcy in the city, and as well as provide security and security for the people attending the show.
More than 1,000 students participated in the Global Hand Washing Day at the St. Michael's Primary School in Hanabada Village. The event is to promote hand washing and importance of healthy lifestyles to schools within the village. World Vision PNG is leading this global campaign.
The event saw 1,225 students from Badi Hagwa Secondary, Hagara Primary and St. Michael's Primary School in commemorating Global Hand Washing Day. This year's theme, Make Hand Washing a Habit, was celebrated with proper hand washing techniques and school performances.
Give the information to the students. The students is in a learning capacity, so they can give the message back to the family and the community as well.
The message is to raise awareness of communicable diseases that can be prevented with basic hand washing. This is part of World Vision's PNG's Wash project that is being carried out in Hanuabada.
As part of the project, we are starting in the school, but we are also working in the Hanuabada community through each clan. And we are working with the Water Sanitation Hygiene project, but it's not a quick fix. We believe that it's not a quick fix. We are working slowly, progressing, and it's an advocacy project. That's why we are trying to relay this message out to partners and business houses that there's a project going on in Hanuabada, and we are looking into water sanitation hygiene. As much as World Vision is in Hanuabada, we would really like the partners to help and participate in the project and help us.
World Vision PNG's Hanuabada Wash project began in May this year and is funded by the New Zealand government at 3 million kina. The project focuses on solid waste management, water sanitation and hygiene. Global Hand Washing Day is commemorated annually on October 15th by the Global Public-Private Partnership for Hand Washing.
Wash your hands so to make them clean. Scrub them off till they fall, just go down the drain.
Marilyn Delkatam, National EMTV News.
And now a look at the finance news. The kina closed unchanged at $0.3155 in the interbank market. At Bank South Pacific, your kina was buying $0.3080, $0.4041 Australian dollars, $0.27560 and 31.55 Japanese yen. Looking at commodity prices at New York close, coffee and cocoa closed higher, while gold and copper closed the day lower. Palm oil closed lower, while crude oil and copper closed the day higher. And on the stock markets, the Dow Jones closed 45 points lower, the ASX is trading at 1 point lower, and the All Ordinaries is trading at 0.24 points higher. More local and international news after the break, including the death of the world's longest reigning monarch. Stay with us. Welcome back to National EMTV News. The Funds Administration Division of leading financial institution, Kina Securities Limited, has won the mandate to provide fund administration services to the National Superannuation Fund, NASFund. Kina CEO Sid Yates said the mandate shows the ongoing development and growing need for sophisticated, technology-led services for the PNG financial services sector. NASFund CEO Ian Tarotia said NASFund had awarded the mandate because of Kina's proven ability in utilizing advanced technology to provide members with the service they require.
Kina Securities Limited has seen strong growth in its funds administration business in recent years. Mr. Yates said Kina has a strong commitment to funds administration in PNG since 1988. He said Kina would continue to leverage its best-of-breed technology platform developed by its partners, Financial Synergy and OpenText, who are industry-leading superannuation and investment software providers. Mr. Tarutia said Kina's specialist knowledge and experiences to funds administration and the local support they provide was critical to NESFund's decision. NESFund has total assets of over 4.09 billion Kina and manages the superannuation savings of more than 543,000 members. Its membership is mainly workers from private sector companies, government-owned corporations, statutory authorities, and self-employed individuals. Mr. Yates said Kina's priorities include improving access and services for members, while also delivering administrative efficiency, reduced risk, and greater confidence to its clients. Kina has set a goal of being PNG's best administrator, and on top of that, it wants to compete with fund administrators operating in Australia, Asia, and the Pacific. Deli Waigeno, National, EMTV News.
Soldiers in the Force Support Battalion, a unit in the PNG Defence Force, are undergoing basic military training as lead up to its 8th anniversary celebrations. This week, the 7 companies competed in several military exercises to win the Best Company title for 2016. The training is called Exercise Trained Soldiers and includes route marching, tug of war and swimming, amongst others.
The Force Support Battalion is a new unit in the PNG Defence Force. It was formed in 2009 to provide necessary logistic support to other units within the force. The 7 companies in this unit include the military police, ceremonial, transport and workshop companies.
Military skills competition we conduct for our soldiers at Mari Barracks is that Force Support Battalion is a logistic unit. They don't get to do infantry stuff. So once in a while we put on competitions and we try to get our soldiers to do these things so that they can still maintain their soldier skills.
The training is focused on building confidence in the younger soldiers and section commanders. This morning they engaged in an attack drill. Obstacle encounter and swimming exercise.
Those are basic skills that everybody must know as soldiers. So being a specialist unit, we need to know those stuff when we are in a combat situation. So they can assist us to conduct successful operations as well as preserving lives of our soldiers.
Apart from competing against the different companies, the supervisors are also assessing individual performances of each soldier. This year's competition has seen an increase in women soldiers. The unit will be commemorating its 8th year next month. Thakla Gunga, National, EMTV News.
An organization that has been in the country for a decade aims to build the capacity of young individuals who are not selected into high schools. The Rays of Light Foundation is a Baha'i organization that aims to provide peace, equal rights, and education for all. Its main focus is to provide space for individuals to engage in activities to become empowered in order to understand both their material and spiritual well-being.
These regional coordinators and tutors of the Rays of Light Foundation are currently gathering at the Baha'i Center in Leh to reflect on their 10 years of experience. The program was introduced to help combat some of the difficulties in the region, with educating a population which is lightly populated, which contains many remote communities, and one where education is often regarded as a privilege, not a priority. The Rays of Light National Coordinator Alfie Gononua says elementary teachers training and preparation for social action are 2 main programs in the country.
What we want to do is all the learnings takes place in the community, and the organization itself just fosters the learning. So really we want to the communities to become protagonists of their own spiritual and material well-being. So
The limited available spaces for high school students leave many Year 8 students without an option to continue their education. School fees, as well as the remoteness of some students, can also prevent them from opportunity to high school facilities. Etowine Tutuan, the tutor for preparation for social action in Milne Bay Province, says the program is one educational alternative for students who wish to continue learning and who have a desire to contribute to their community's well-being.
With the concept of service to community, the program seeks to help build or raise capacities in youths who had just dropped from educational process to find space in serving at a community grassroots terrains at a community-based level.
Julie Badui Owa, National EMTV News, Leh.
Turning overseas now, and Thailand's King Bhumibol Adulyadej, who was the world's longest reigning monarch, died in hospital yesterday. The palace, who made this announcement, did not give a reason for his death. He was 88 years old and reigned for 7 decades after ascending to the throne in 1946. His loss is deeply mourned in Thailand, where he was regarded as a pillar of stability during decades of political upheaval and rapid development. His son and heir apparent, the 63-year-old Crown Prince Maha Vajiralongkorn, is expected to become Thailand's new king. U.S. First Lady Michelle Obama told Clinton supporters in New Hampshire yesterday that Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump's comments could not be dismissed as just another disturbing footnote in a sad election season. In an emotional speech, Michelle Obama condemned Donald Trump over his treatment of women, saying it was something that cannot be ignored.
On Wednesday, 2 women accused Trump of inappropriate touching in interviews with the New York Times, claims his spokesman called fiction. The report was followed by a stream of similar allegations from several other women, putting more pressure on Trump as he lags Clinton in national opinion polls.
Because this was not just a lewd conversation. This wasn't just locker room banter. This was a powerful individual speaking freely and openly about sexually predatory behavior and actually bragging about kissing and groping women, using language so obscene that many of us were worried about our children hearing it when we turn on the TV. And to make matters worse, it now seems very clear that this isn't an isolated incident. It's one of countless examples of how he has treated women his whole life. And I have to tell you that I listen to all of this, and I feel it so personally. And I'm sure that many of you do too, particularly the women. The shameful comments about our bodies, the disrespect of our ambitions and intellect, the belief that you can do anything you want to a woman. It is cruel. It's frightening. And the truth is, it hurts.
The campaign was already struggling to contain a crisis after a video surfaced last week showing the candidate bragging in 2005 about groping women and making unwanted sexual advances. Trump's campaign made public a letter to the newspaper from Mark Kasowitz, a lawyer representing Trump, demanding it retract the story, calling it libellous and threatening legal action if it did not comply. Reuters could not independently verify the incidents. Leeds and Crooks did not immediately respond to requests for comments from Reuters. The report came just 2 days after a Reuters or Ipsos opinion poll showed 1 in 5 Republicans thought Trump's comments about groping women disqualified him from the presidency. The poll also showed him 8 points behind Clinton among likely voters. Melissa Gaviro, EMTV World News.
Nigerians are hoping it might just be the start. 21 schoolgirls have just been released by Boko Haram. They are among the 276 young women militants kidnapped from their school in 2014. Some escaped soon after they were captured, but around 200 remained missing. The Nigerian government insists that captured Boko Haram militants would not exchange with the girls who were welcomed home on Thursday.
The hope
country has been waiting for you to come back. All these many months, the whole country has been waiting that one day we'll see you again. And we're very, very, very happy to see you. We're very, very happy to see you back.
It's been a long and tortuous journey. These grainy stills, the first sighting of the 21 released Chibok girls, the Nigerian border town of Banki, their 3 a.m. handover point. In April 2014, we travelled to Chibok to meet with shell-shocked families, reeling from the abduction of the almost 300 girls. Nearly 60 managed to escape their captors, but the fate of the remaining girls remained uncertain.
Bring back our girls.
The world waited along with their families. Campaigners tirelessly worked to maintain pressure on the government to bring the girls home. Today's release and the negotiations that facilitated it, perhaps the fruit of that pressure.
It is a release, the product of painstaking negotiations and trust on both sides. We see this as a credible first step in the eventual release of all the Chibok girls in captivity.
More girls could soon be on their way home.
For the first time, a songwriter has won the Nobel Prize for Literature, and that winner is Bob Dylan. His songs include Blowing in the Wind, Like a Rolling Stone, and Knocking on Heaven's Door. His music first spoke to fans during the 1960s, and it still resonates today.
Hey, Mr. Tambourine Man, play a song for me. I'm not sleepy, and there is no place I'm going to.
Folk singer, songwriter, modern-day minstrel. To many baby boomers, Bob Dylan is the voice of their generation. But his winning the 2016 Nobel Prize for Literature stunned the Stockholm crowd at Thursday's announcement.
Bob Dylan.
Mentioned in Nobel speculation for years, but never seen as a serious contender, Dylan is the first songwriter to win the prestigious award.
For having created new poetic expressions within the great American song tradition.
And Dylan has created so much poetry for the years.
Yes, and how many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned?
From Blowin' in the Wind,
John is in a basement mixing up the medicine. I'm on a pavement thinking about the government.
to Subterranean Homesick Blues.
Once upon a time, you dressed so fine through the bumps of time in your prime.
To his transformative rock anthem, Like a Rolling Stone. The Nobel is just the latest honor for this legendary performer. He's won 10 Grammy Awards, a Golden Globe, an Oscar. Inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, he's also received a Pulitzer Prize and the Presidential Medal of Freedom, and has sold tens of millions of records in a career spanning more than 5 decades. Now 75 years old, Dylan performed this past weekend at the U.S. music festival dubbed Coachella, and he shows no signs of letting up.
Here with National EMTV News, Trukai Sports is next. We will have all the details after these messages. Don't go away.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome to Trukai Sports. We begin with Rugby Union, and the National Provincial Championship Sevens competition kicked off today at the Sir Hubert Murray Stadium. Teams from all over the country have come together to compete in the 2-day event.
We're starting to get into the serious...
East New Britain Stallions have entered the competition as a force to be reckoned with, as well as the Kimbe Rebels and the Black Orchids.
Outside, little hurdle, put the ball down. Yes, he does. No.
Manus have entered the competition and played their first 2 games against the CRU Bombers and the West New Britain Rebels. Nalins unfortunately lost both matches. 24 teams from the 4 regions of the country are competing. Gorka Kilituas and Mendi Mustangs put on a great show during the first day of matches.
I think yes, they scored a try. Well, they finally got a try.
Finally got to try Mendy.
The competition ends tomorrow with the finals at the Sir Hubert Murray Stadium in Port Moresby. Elijah Levet, National EMTV Sports.
In cricket, Team Namibia is hopeful of improving their standing in the World Cricket League Championship and the Intercontinental Cup during their 4 meets with the Hebo PNG Barramandis. Namibia coach D. Thakur said with his team currently on 7th placing in both competitions, they are hoping to impress on the crease.
Namibia coach D. Thakur says the conditions may differ compared to the normal settings in the Cricket South Africa competition, and they have met with PNG in a T20 match last year where they were successful. Though anticipating strong opposition, he hopes his team can come out on top.
We're in the bottom 4 of this tournament and PNG is in the top 4. So the quality side, we obviously would like to sort of execute our skills and do well and hopefully win our games.
Meanwhile, the Barramandis are currently 6th in the Intercontinental Cup and 4th in the World Cricket League Championship, and with home ground advantage, they are prepared to put up a good performance. Though Barramandis skipper Asad Valas says that raises more expectations for them.
Different opposition and different format for us. Though it's the first international foray playing at home, but we know we got the on-ground advantage and on-ground support, but it doesn't guarantee us the win. We have to play good hard cricket to get the result we want.
Coach Deepak Patel is now looking forward to seeing a positive outcome after 2 weeks of the South Australia tour, in which the combination of all-rounder Mahuru Dai, Chad Sopa and skipper Asad Vala proved fruitful.
We're still learning. A lot of our younger players are still learning how to play the longer form of the game. For probably a third of our guys, it's probably the first time they've played 2-day cricket. So, it's a great learning curve for them.
Their first Intercontinental Cup match kicks off this Sunday. Dini Rose Raiko, National EMTV Sports.
To Rugby League, and the final island country to qualify for next year's Women's Rugby League World Cup will be determined at the Pacific Qualifying Series in Sydney tomorrow. Cook Islands, Fiji, Tonga and Samoa will all compete for a spot in the Women's Rugby League World Cup, where the winner gets direct entry. Tomorrow's series will add extra excitement at next year's historic Women's Rugby League World Cup. Trukai Sports continues after the break. Stay with us.
Trukai Sports.
Welcome back to Trukai Sports. Former NSL franchise owner and football advocate Joseph Erledona has been appointed as the head of delegation for the Papua New Guinea men's national football team. This announcement, made by PNG FA President David Chung, is an effort to bring changes to the management of the national team as PNG embarks on its Road to Russia 2018 campaign. As head of delegation, Erledona will be working closely with the national team in preparation for home and away games against Tahiti in March 2017 and later the Solomon Islands. PNG will play a friendly against Malaysia in Kuala Lumpur on the 14th of November. Still on football, the finals of the Special Olympics five-a-side play unified football competition took place this morning, with 4 of the competition's finalists having a crack at the grand final. Earlier in the year, 10 teams started off the tournament as part of a first-of-its-kind concept by Special Olympics PNG to create awareness amongst young people to recognize, socialize and play together with intellectual disabilities and know that they can have fun together.
Since May this year, special education services such as Cheshire, Callan, Red Cross Special School and also able-bodied institutions like Hohola Demonstration and Ward Street Primary all took part. With members of the PNG Special Olympics on board, President Takalet Tuna, a former PNG athlete, said he wanted sportsmen and women as well as coaches, volunteers and young people to be aware of people with disabilities in their settings and talk to them instead of ignoring them, including them in conversations and in their sport activities. He said the Special Olympics PNG is also using the competition to promote one message, making hand washing a habit. Also available were members of the PNG netball team, the Peppers, with Captain Lua Rickes, more than happy to deliver that message as well.
I'm here with WaterAid PNG, so we're here to celebrate with them Global Hand Washing Day, which is on tomorrow, but we celebrate with the kids here. And most of the kids around the country in their schools are celebrating this day as well today.
A special guest at the tournament, wife of the Prime Minister, Linda Babao O'Neill, more than happy to be in attendance.
Children who are abled understand and realize that children who are different are still the same, still have the same passions, and still children, still have that feeling, and we have to treat them that way.
Whilst a lot of focus has been on able-bodied sporting heroes of the country, the PNG Special Olympics is hoping for a more inclusive approach for its wards and are pushing for more awareness on the issues surrounding people with special and intellectual disabilities. Jeremy Mogi, National EMTV Sports.
And then in Trukai Sports, we'll have the weather details up next. Don't go away.
Trukai Sports. Trukai Sports.
The weather details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield, with doing with Dulux.
Here's a look at the weather for the next 24 hours. In the southern region, Port Moresby, cloudy with a chance of showers, light showers in Daru and Kerma, fine weather in Alotau, light rain in Popondetta. To the Momasa region, rain and showers in Ley and Wau, mostly fine in Wewak and Madang, cloudy with some rain in Vanimo. To the New Guinea Islands region, cloudy with rain in Lorengau, cloudy with showers in Kavieng, thundery showers in Kokopo, Rabaul and Kimbe, a few showers in Buka. And in the Highlands region, Mount Hagen, Goroka, Kundiawa, Mendi and Wabeg, all these major centres can expect cloudy weather with some rain.
Details are proudly brought to you by Dulux Weather Shield, with doing with Dulux.
Before we go, a quick look at our stories making headlines tonight. PMV kills elderly man, 5 years on, crash victims remembered, and climate change a top priority. And that's the news, sports and weather this Friday, the 14th of October 2016. From the EMTV News team, have a pleasant weekend. Bye for now.